Okay, congratulations. Let's continue from where we stopped the other time. So we have created all the CRUD operation for our delete. Now for the delete, you will like, why will I want to send a message that I've been sent, I want to delete it, or why will I want to edit a message that I've been sent? Yes, the front-end developer is going to make it in such a way that if this message has been sent for a certain time, for a certain period of time, you can no longer delete it. Let's say, for example, it's going to give you a maximum of, if you send this message, the maximum, you can still delete it between 0 seconds to the next 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you can no longer delete it. So the front-end developer is the one to do that. So what he's just going to do is just to disable the button for you to be able to delete that particular message because that message was sent 20 minutes ago. So it's not your duty to actually do that. So all we just need to write is, okay, if the person is eligible to delete, so you should have a backend that will be able to delete that message. Okay, that's all what we have done so far. So it's time for a moment of truth and time to check out our routes that we created for each of them. So let's go to the route and check out the routes and the controllers. For the first one is create M, and that is what we call it, is a post request, and it's going to create message. So if you confirm that, then the next one is get a message, and the stuff we use was get a message, get all message, and get a message has an ID. So we are trying to get a message using the ID, but if you realize we didn't use that anymore, we're not using the ID for trying to get a message. So let's check out that again so you could see what I'm talking about. So if you come in down to this place where we have the get message, where is get a message again? Edit. So get all message. So get a message. So this is where we're supposed to be using the ID. And I said, okay, we are not using the ID from the request.param. That is, we are not using it from the URL. Rather, it's going to be in the body. So we took it from the body. So for that reason, I'm going to be taking that off. So your controller name must also match with what you have in here. So this is get a message. And if you check your route properly, we also have what is called the get a message. And here, get a message. So the route and the controller must be the same. So we have an edit message. And this is what we're just going to do, edit message. And edit message also does not have any parameter, any, request.param parameter. You're not getting it from the URL. And I think the last one, the one that is not here, is actually the deleted message, the one we just did last. So let's create our controller for it, the router for it. So it's going to be delete, not put. So the delete. So we're going to be deleting the message. So we just call this D message. That's what we would like to call it. D message. And it's going to run the delete message. I think the name of the controller is delete message. So let me just be sure that we have, I'm actually using the right controller name. So let me check out that delete message again. Okay, it's called D message. So I would just like to make it delete, right? Delete message. So we have a delete message just like this one. And in the route, instead of us to have the message, okay, yeah, delete message, so we are good to go. So the route and the controllers and the routes all correspond. So it's time for us to bring in the message controller. That is if I've done that before now. So let's check out and bring out the message controller on this route so we can visualize it, because everything was actually exported. So we can see we've already brought it in. So it's a message controller and this is it. So let's test everything that we've done now and let's run this. So we're going to be running this and we'll be testing it out with our node now. So npm start. Oh, I think I wrote the wrong thing. So npm start. So let's look at that. So it's just going to load that up. And here we go. So right now, I don't know if I'm actually logged in. Do I still have the home controller? I would have just tested for the home controller to see if I'm still logged in. But I can always check out that. Let me check if do I still have the home controller. I'm not really too sure, but let me just try to run that. It's like I deleted it. So Okay, it has been deleted. Okay, no. This is supposed to be a get. I think I used to have a home controller before now, but yeah, it has been deleted. Okay, no problem. So I just want to log in first. So what I want to do is to log in. So I want to create a login to be able to log in into the platform. So and we're going to be having some stuff in it. So I'm just going to log in and I'll put in some message. So login, and login is actually a post, because if you don't log in, you can't be able to send in message. So you have to be logged in first. And we have already created the protected route, but I've not used it in all the routes. So I'm just going to do that maybe at the end of this video. It's quite simple to do. Or at the end of all the videos, we'll do that. Okay, so this is my login. So I want to log in, and boom, I'm good to go. It shows that I'm logging, and this is my ID and everything about me, right? So I'm logged in now. So I can then try, go to the message. So the first route that we will want to go into is the ability for us to be able to delete, to create a message. So that's the create message. So let's check out the route that does that. So the route that does that, which is post create M. So we want to do that. We want to go to that route, create M, and it's a post message. It's a post stuff. So we're going to be placing the ID of the person that we actually want to send the message to, right? So it's going to take the message. So let's take out all this. We don't need all this. So if you check out our module, the model that we actually created for it, the schema we created for it. Let's click on the schema. So this is the schema we created for it. So in the schema, we have the receiver, the message, the sender, the person who is sending it, the message itself, the person who is to receive the message, the sender ID, that is, which is me. Now this sender ID is not going to be in, it's not going to be something that I would type in. So when I logged in, it's just going to get that automatically. So this is what I want to say. So the message and the receiver ID, that is what we're trying to get here. Sorry. So receiver ID, was it a capital letter then? Oh, sorry. This is the first feed. I'm actually making it to be, so this is the first feed. So the message you want to send, let's say, hi from Sylvester. So that's what I want to send. And the receiver is going to be having an ID. So the receiver ID, so I'm going to put this in the quotes, who is to receive this message. So the person to receive the message, I'm going to copy the ID and paste the ID in here. So it's also very important that we have the ID of the person. So this is very simple. You might be wondering, how do we get the ID of the person? When the front-end developer is displaying all those things, right? The ID of the person you actually send it to. Maybe you like a particular person, you just click on the person's profile and you go straight. You already have the person ID as you clicked on the profile, right? So right there, you can send message to that ID. So I just want to connect to my database and get the user quickly. Okay, so this is it. So we're just going to check our user. I have 3 users. So I want to, in this message, I intend to send this message to somebody else. Okay, so I intend to send this message to Ben. So this person. So I'll just copy this person's ID. So the front-end developer is going to get that. Very easy, right? So we're just testing it here and trying to get this from here. So we're going to say this is the ID we're actually sending it to. And who is sending the message, which is me. So I don't have to impute it here. So right there on our code, if you check out our code we created before for creating of the sending of the message, you'll find out that the ID was the sender ID, the feed that says sender ID. You see request dot section dot user. So if you check out this, look at the user ID, the user ID that is the person sending it, request dot section. So you're just going to look at my section, look at my ID, and boom, it will send that. So I don't need to do that, right? So we've written the code to be able to get that. And I think that is all we needed to do. And we have to create a message. So we hit the create message. So just wait for a moment. And I think I'm getting an error here. So we said there is an error. So let's check out why we have an error. Okay, quickly. We check out the message. It said then .save no longer accept a callback. Did I use a callback in .save? This is old school way of writing code. You don't use the .save. You don't put a callback in the .save. Did I do that? Okay, I'm just going to check that where I did the callback in the .save. And right away we have catch. And we have to save. This is a very big error. Please, you don't do this again. It's old school. No longer needed. Now, that message must have been sent even with the error, right? So I can decide to send in another message again to the same person. I'll just change the message. I'll say, trust you are fine. So that's a message to the same person. So we send it now. A moment of truth. And I'm still getting an error. Okay, so I'll just have to check out what that error is quickly. So, and as I said before now, this is testing. We are testing to see what we've done. So you are likely to expect this and to also learn more. He said the part user is required. Okay, did I put in the part user? He said the part user is required, but I didn't put in the part user, something like that. He said the part user is required because it's very important we are able to get the person who is actually sending it. Okay, the part user is required. So I'm just going to check that out and see where that error is coming from. Okay, I think this is coming from, okay, there is no part here that we created. It said validate message. Okay, user is required. Okay, the person who is sending it as the user is required, the user ID. Okay, I'm wondering, is it that it's not getting my user ID? So which means that this feed here, maybe it's not working as expected. So it's saying that this user ID is not there, right? So that's what it means. So we're troubleshooting. So it's saying that this is not there because if you remember in our model, you go back to our model, you notice that we actually created something for that, which is the message model. Let's check out the message model. So in the message model, you have something that looks like this. We said we are bringing in reference, we are bringing in user, and it must be true. It must be there. So we are bringing in this, right? So, and it's saying that that user, it's not there. So I think I have to go check that out again and see what I have done wrong. Okay. So sender ID is equal to this. Oh, I think I'm the one making the mistake. So the sender ID is this, and the user itself, is that okay? That is sending the message is also there because we are connecting the message to the user, right? So the user should also be there. The third stuff that will also be sending to the front end. So the user is still me, right? So the truth is that I would have just, if I have known, I would have just used the structure of the user and not use this again, this user, the sender ID. But it's okay, it's fine, right? So the user, which was a feed I actually created, this was a feed because I didn't put in that feed, and that was why it was complaining. This was the feed we created in our schema. So we said we have a feed that is called the user. So this is it, user. So it was not there. I didn't place it there. So that was why it was complaining. So let's quickly do that right away. So I'm just going to say user now is going to be exactly the same thing that we had in here. This is just will be it. So As I said before, now if I had known, I wouldn't have bothered to place that one. But it's all good. It's all good. So we not really change anything. So that is what I want to actually put in there, and we are good to go with that. So you're just going to say the user ID, and boom. So let's check out that again and try to run that. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to the message and try to send a message. So send. So we're sending a message. So I believe the message has been sent. Okay. It's sending the message, or it must have been sent, but I didn't send a response to the front-end developer. So I have to send a message to the front-end developer. If you check the database, the record should be there. So I have to send a message to the front-end developer that this thing went on where. And that should be under my try. So I say you should try this. After trying this, this is the try. So you should just do rest.save. And after saving it, you should tell us do rest.send. Rest.send. All right. And it should tell us that the message was sent successfully. Message sent. So that is what we should be expecting from our front end. So as I said before now, something has already happened. So it must have sent that message. We'll just check the database. So I say, trust you're okay. Where are you? This. Okay. So I think I just asked that question and boom, we try to run that again. So we'll send the message. As you can see, message sent. So this was the response that we're getting. So the message is sent. So let's check our ID, our stuff. So we're just going to this place. So we have to refresh this again. We'll go back to this and refresh this. So if you come in here, you'll see the message ID, right? So here we go. See the messages. Can you see that? The time it was sent, the user who sent it, is that okay? The sender ID, the receiver ID, I said I'm not supposed to just put the sender ID again since this is already here, but it's fine. Is that okay? So these are the two messages that have been sent, and here we go. Okay, so it's working exactly the way we want it to work, right? So what's the next thing we'll do? We have to test for the second one as well. So what's the second one? The second one is for us to be able to get the message, right? The ability to get, let's say, get all message. We want to get all the message. So we're going to the route straight right away. What's the route saying? Let's check out what the route says for get all message. So this is get all message, and it's a get request. So we'll go back to our client and put this get all message. Good. And let's try to run that. So it's going to be a get request, and we'll hit this. So in the process of doing that, boom, this one works right away without any error. So here are all the messages so far. Now, if you check out these messages, the message that is being printed are the message that we send or the message that we receive. Is that okay? Because if you see from what we did here, we are said making it to understand that any message that is sent or any message that is received should be for the ID, the person who is sending it, and should be, for example, this is get all message. So all the message that I'm getting here now, there should be a definition for it. Oh, I think I didn't do that. I didn't put up that definition. I think I have to do that now quickly. So there should be a definition for it. You should not be getting message of other people. You should only be getting the message that is meant for you. That's it. You should be getting the message that is made for you, not the message of other people. So the way it is now is like if other people are sending message, I'll be able to get that. So we're going to fix that quickly. So in such a way that we're going to tell it this is what we want to do. So we're going to say the message you want to get is receiver. The receiver ID must be us. That means somebody must have sent the message and they send it to our receiver ID, which means the message is intended for us. So we should see it. And also, the message should also be for, okay, let's write that first. So receiver, we're going to have receiver. So this is a feed. The receiver ID is going to be the person who just logged in now, which is in request dot section dot user dot underscore ID, right? So that should be the person who is receiving it. That's the first one. That is, whoever that is receiving it should be this. Then the second should be whoever that is sending it. That is the message we sent before. We should be able to see our own sent message, and we should be able to see the message that is sent to us. So that's all we need. So we don't care about message of other people. So we're going to say sender ID. So the sender ID, so I'm making use of the sender ID, so it's not totally useless. So the sender ID, which is a feed that we created, so that ID is going to be our own ID also. That is, we are the one that is logged in, which is request.section.user.id. So those are the stuff that we actually want to see. Apart from that, we don't want to see any message that does not concern us. That is any message that wasn't sent to us. If we run it for now, we're going to get, okay, I think I'm getting an error here. So let me see why that error is coming. Okay, maybe the stuff wasn't ready before I did that. Okay, I just have to send it again. Let's wait for it to be connected to the database before we try. Okay, get all message. So I'll do that now. Okay, I'm not getting any message for reason best known to it. So it's telling us that the status is equal to it's okay, but there is no message. So maybe my query is not 100% correct. So we are saying that the receiver ID must be us, and the okay. I think this is where we actually made the mistake. Now we said the receiver ID must be us, right? To we that is sending the message. Like if somebody is sending message to us, but at this point in time, nobody has sent any message to us. And we said and, right? We now said and, if we put this comma, it means and the receiver, the sender ID, which is us. Is that okay? So the sender ID is me. The receiver ID, yes, is also me, but nobody is sending any message to us. So that is what is actually complaining about, because we are using the and. So we have to quickly fix that now.